Would you have liked to have brought back that character of Mary Jane?
There's still time.
There is. Oh, I think we have a little bit of a clue there.
I'm so sorry. I can't seem to play. I played in the cinema pit for hours and hours. I'm so sorry.
Well, she got you halter trained, right, George? That's the main thing.
I'm so sorry.
No, it was a lovely, lovely evening. Thank you.
Welcome to the actor's side. Today, I've been waiting a long time to have her on the actor's side. You have known her perhaps your whole life watching this. I know we have known her whole life on screen. And,
Oh, God.
and that would be Kirsten Dunst. Welcome to the actor's
Thank
side.
you. Thanks, Pete.
And congratulations on your Oscar nomination for The Power of the Dog and all the other awards, acclaim, and nominations, and everything that's come your way here. You know, did you know when you walked into this film that it was going to turn out like this?
Not at all. You don't know, you never know when you're making a movie and then how it's going to turn out, how it's going to be perceived, and, making a movie with Jane Campion, that's the dream.
Yeah.
And then to be with her on this journey and seeing all this good come towards her is what has been like the most memorable, and I've been really grateful to be able to be with her on this.
Yeah, that's amazing. You know, I imagine as an actor, you get a script and it's written by Jane Campion and she's going to direct her first film in about 12 years, feature film.
Yeah.
You don't even bother to read the script, right?
You don't have to, no. If you have a brain in your head, you just do it.
You just do it.
You just do it, yeah.
But that role of Rose Gordon, she's such an interesting, complex character on many different levels, too.
It was an intense role to map out too, because there are not, a ton of scenes to tell her whole story, and so I was, very specific on, my journey as Rose as well, to make these things really significant, and you really follow her.
Did you go back to the Thomas Savage book, which was written in 1967, for things that, because obviously Jane Campion didn't write the book or turn that directly into the script, so there was a lot.
Not as much for Rose, and I think because it was told by Phil Burbank's perspective that Rose wasn't as fulfilled as the way Jane wrote her in her script.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So.
But that's okay. I love filling things in anyway. It doesn't really bother me. I could dig deeper and find my own truths within the story.
Yeah. Do you have I always like to use the word process when I talk to actors, because there are so many interesting things when I say process. Everyone has their own.
Yeah. I definitely do, but I'm also very open to whatever happens. Like, I do a lot of work to then not worry about things too.
Yeah.
Like, I have all my notes or different ideas for different takes, just in case I get a little stuck or something. But I do work with someone, her name's Greta Seacat, and I've worked with her now since my mid-20s. And she does a lot of dream work, which really helps you be very grounded in the person you're playing, and gives you emotional symbols and things that you immediately connect with that energy, because it's from your unconscious. It's so in you that it grounds you, I think, in a way that makes you really you feel like the character.
Yeah, you wouldn't call yourself a method actor, would you?
I didn't stay in Rose on the weekends, you know what I mean? I wasn't like pounding drinks. It's nice to come home and have a son. It was nice to like focus on something else, because when I am on set, I am very in it. But then when I'm home, I think there's a residue that follows you while you make a movie, always. And this certainly did. But I also don't consciously think about like, oh, I'm going to still speak like Rose or hold my shoulder like I don't think about it that way.
And do that and live that role like that, or be like Daniel Day-Lewis and say, call me President Lincoln,
It works. I'm someone who gets more uncomfortable if I'm telling other people, like, I want to be have a community-friendly feeling with, you know, the boom operator, everybody on set. So because I feel more comfortable to expose myself when I feel like we're a team. So I feel less inclined. Maybe I will, if I played someone who is really like cut off from people, I'd say to the crew, you know, I'm trying to stay in the zone of this. I think whatever helps an actor do their most truthful performance works. You know?
On this movie, although you've had this experience before with Jesse, but you got to work with your very significant other, so this was like being home in a sense. Like you can't actually, if you wanted to, stay in the character because he's right there with you, and you know.
No, it's true. I mean, it was just so nice to have someone that knows exactly what you're going through on set. Like, you know, we'll be in different locations and he'll tell me about this set or this director or these dynamics, and you never fully grasp it. So to have his support on this and just to like have somebody to give you a hug at lunch, you know what I mean? If you've had a hard scene or something, or just be like, you know, whatever, I have an idea, or, you know, we have each other's backs. So we can really like take care of each other in that way.
You do get that wonderful little romantic scene there where you're teaching him.
It's so sweet.
And it's just a very sweet thing. And, you know, I mean, as an actor, you could totally make that real and authentic. But is there an extra layer there that you get to act that with him?
I mean, when he turns around and says that line, you know, it's you know, just so nice to not be alone. That was one of the most moving things I've witnessed on a set myself.
Wow.
So I'm so in awe of him as an actor, and he's also such a good human being, and just like he's so authentic in the way he portrays George, and that scene is just, I think it's like the best line of the movie, that line.
It is a great line.
Yeah.
There are a lot of interesting lines in that movie, though. But it's so nice that he got nominated, too.
I mean, it's a dream, and in the same movie, and it's just like, we're good. Like, this is amazing. It's just, we couldn't be, you know, this is, who knows? It's amazing. It's just amazing. And no, I say to my mom and his mom, you guys are so lucky. We've given you 2 grandchildren. And now we both got nominated together. Like, we're the best, you know, children for you both.
So great, and it gives you a couple of extra tickets too.
Yeah, no, you're right, because you get, well, we're trying to find out if we can take more people. We got to get approved still, but for our extras. But yes, we can both bring our moms, you know what I mean? And yeah.
What was the most challenging scene in Power of the Dog? I've told you this before, but the scene where you're trying to play the piano, and I'm just saying, just like heart and soul, play anything, you're just on the edge of your seat going like, she's paralyzed. She's absolutely paralyzed. And it was such a subtle piece of acting, too, to watch. There's nothing histrionic or anything. You're just watching her in a kind of breakdown there.
Yeah, that was a scene where I remember, I love the way Jane played it out, because it was a very long take.
Right.
So I could really get into it. It didn't, I could really like feel the life within the scene, as opposed to, you know, it's just the way she shoots things really allows the actor to do what they do. But one of the takes I do remember thinking about, because, you know, I'm playing, I'm trying, I'm practicing, and then I hear this music, and it's so beautiful at first. Like, you're like, wow, because it is. The way he plays the banjos with such artistry, and so it's so effortless. And so I think then you hear it and you realize, oh, wow, like, now I know what he's doing to me. You know what I mean? But I think at first, that first thing for Rose is like, that's beautiful. So I imagined in one take that I was listening to this audition, and I'm going to audition next. And it was like the best audition I've ever heard in my life. And I was like, well, that's over for me.
Yeah. It's so good. And you play a great drunk. And I don't want to say just a drunk, because it's like different gradations of that.
Yeah, there was a lot of,
And that was what was so interesting to watch her go through that and everything.
Yeah, that, you know, I have different ways of approaching those things. Like when it's just physical more, I do spin around in circles a lot to get that feeling, so I don't have to worry about that. And I can just worry about the emotional part of it. So I did do things like that, but also it was just like paying more attention to when people who are drunk tell stories and how they tell them. And
Right.
I know one person in particular that when she tells a story, she sounds like a little girl, and that was perfect for Rose. So I kind of used that. And also, we rehearsed that scene a lot, like a play.
Yeah.
We rehearsed it so much. I mean, we came up with the sugar with the stars in one of the rehearsals, and that was really like the most intense scene to nail right.
Do you ever use YouTube? Like, you can go on
Yeah.
and watch all kinds of different people in real life doing things.
Yeah, I actually looked up drunk people on YouTube. I did. Drunk people telling stories. It didn't really work. The ones they were like so over the top. It's more modern, so
Yeah.
it didn't really work for that. But yes, YouTube is a great source for.
It's like something actors didn't have for the longest time.
Yeah.
And now, you can, it's just...
Well, especially if you're playing a real life person, then
Right.
that's amazing. But just even for inspiration, like I love this one Nina Simone performance, and so sometimes on your phone you're like, I want to get into this zone, and you'll like look it up, and you're like immediately connect with it. So yeah, even just having that so accessible is helpful as a tool.
Yeah. I believe you're about to have soon a significant birthday, maybe.
Oh, I was like, am I pregnant? No.
And I'm announcing that to you.
Again? I
That
was
would be a
like-
first on this.
I was like, I
Yeah.
don't plan on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
but a significant birthday, which
Yeah.
is coming up.
The big 4-0.
The big 4-0. But
Yeah.
like I said, we feel like we've known you your whole life. I think you started at like
have.
3 in this business,
I
right?
did, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
started
we've
at 3.
watched you go through so many different levels here and
know.
very publicly.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Luckily, I've maintained a healthy attitude towards my work and this business, and it's grown with me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because not all actors who start as child actors, whatever you want to say, have that,
Yeah.
and it's a tough business. And, also, look, New York Times once said, you were the little vamp with a big future, based on, which I love that line, actually.
Funny,
I thought
I've never
that
heard that.
it was after Interview with the Vampire and then other things. But, when you look back at that and, that kind of education and acting that you had on set.
Yeah, I mean, I also had to grow up learning about my own taste in film and what kind of films I want to be in, or what kind of directors inspire me, or what performances inspire me. So as I was growing up, I was also learning about what type of artist I want to be. So that was really, it's a different way to approach things. But I think that the people that are meant to do it when they start at a young age and continue are really, it's a gift. It is, partly. I mean, you have to really work at that, but it is, I think.
Was there a big downside at any time there, too? I mean, you were very public about experiencing depression and
Yeah.
different things that you went through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, you continue, Pete.
And I was just going to say that you could probably use in other characters that you're playing.
Yeah, but you never, when you've experienced something like that, you have to be in a very good place to portray, things like that, like in Melancholia. Like
Right.
I had the most fun making that movie.
Yeah, which
So, it just, but yeah, I think when you grow up in this industry, any artist, like musicians, there comes a certain point where you really, I think, things that you learned in the past, or the way the industry takes you really have to do a self-examination check, I think. And
Yeah.
so I kind of had to figure out, how am I going to be an actress now for myself, rather than for other people.
Melancholia brought you the Best Actress Award at the Cannes Film Festival, which was well deserved. But I thought, after I was there and I was at that press conference, and I thought after that press conference and it blew up, I mean, are they going to watch the movie? Or are they going to go with this whole controversy that went on at the time with your director, Lars von Trier?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember at that press conference, you were sitting next to him and you're just kind of going, it was an interesting thing to be
Yeah.
thrust into, I guess.
Yeah, and I never thought anyone would pay attention to what my reaction was. Mine was just authentically like, "Oh my God, what are you saying?" Yeah. But hey, it worked out for me.
Life
in the
goes
end.
on, yeah, exactly. Is that one of your favorite roles,
Yes,
Melancholia?
yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Just because the way that movie was filmed was like we were doing a live play. It just was so free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting. I have to ask you about Spider-Man because there was all that talk. You know, are you coming back? Are you going to be in it? Everyone was speculating. You know, and obviously Toby is in No Way Home. Would you have liked to have brought back that character of Mary Jane?
There's still time.
There is. Oh, I think we have a little bit of a clue there.
I mean, listen, no one's asked me about anything, but I do think that, I mean, this multi-universe just keeps going on and on. So it's like, I mean, I wouldn't put it, you know, I feel like that could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know nothing, by the way.
Yeah,
But I feel like it's a possibility.
Yeah, I got to interview all 3 Spider-Men together.
Together?
Together.
That's very cute.
It was fun. It got like over 3 million views.
Wow.
It was like, when you're on with them, it was like amazing. Yeah. And Toby was great, you know, and they were all it was so interesting to listen to them talking about that. When you're in that huge a franchise, you know.
Yeah, no. And I just think about wearing those suits. I'm sure Tom Holland probably has the most breathable, probably most modern suit. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Toby could not breathe. That suit looks so uncomfortable.
It's interesting. So you've worked with a lot of really fascinating directors here, but obviously Sofia Coppola and what you did with her, you know, and probably will continue to, I imagine.
Yeah, no, I think so. I'm sure.
And maybe Jane Campion too, again, or you know.
We'll see. I mean. Yeah.
That's a key, though. You get in these movies, you know, with these great directors and female directors. You've had a lot of good luck with, I think, here too. Is there a difference, or?
Not for me. I think because I did Interview with the Vampire, and then immediately, like, that was like the male, the top males of their game at that point. You know, like Tom and Brad. I mean. And then I went to work with the top females, like Susan Sarandon and Winona Ryder and like Claire Danes. So I had, and that was a female director too, Gillian Armstrong. So I went from a very male set to a very female set, and because I was so young experiencing those things, I don't ever think it was, you know, a big deal to me at all. So I've always, working with other women and other female directors has always been a very natural thing for me.
Yeah. Do you have any desire to direct again? I know you've directed before.
I directed like some short films, but it's such a like all-encompassing job that, and my kids just feel too young to do that. Maybe when they're, I don't know. It's so much work to do it right, and so I just know I don't have that in me with the age of my children.
Well, I speak for a lot of people when I say it's about time we are seeing you with an Oscar nomination here, because I could think of a few movies that I think you should have been nominated for.
Thank you, Pete.
And you know, it is just about time.
Hey, my mom feels the same way.
That's great. Mom, we're on the same page. Thank you so much, Kirsten Dunst, for joining us.